Mwema. All those are my names. Today, I would just like to come and just celebrate what the Kenyan Gen Zs have done, are doing, and continues to do. Kenyan Gen Z wameoneshana ya kwamba what their government is not able to do, they are happy to do. The government indeed belongs to the people. The sovereignty of any nation belongs to the people. If you look at the Kenyan Constitution 2010, it does say on the very first chapter of the Constitution that the sovereignty of Kenya belongs to its people. So when the government that unfortunately was installed through lies, through deception, because what the Ruto or Kasongo presidency was elected for, to be honest, people say was fraudulent because they lied. It was based on lies. It is nothing but everything that was not supposed to happen has happened. Everything they said they would do, they have not done. The citizens have continued to suffer and to struggle and to languish in poverty. Unfortunately, one of the main pillars of the manifesto of the current government, when they were elected by the people, they said they were going to sort out healthcare for the common mwananchi. Mwananchi means the people, the citizens. The government said that was one of the main pillars that they were going to deal with, that they were going to make sure that a lot of health facilities and healthcare and medication and all that will be free for its citizens. That has turned to be the opposite. There is nothing that is expensive than healthcare and medical in the nation of Kenya. People are dying every day, even with simple diseases that can be treated. But because there's no jobs, there's no money, everything is going wrong. There's no point of saying one thing that is working. There's nothing working. What the government tried to change from what used to be the NSSF, and they call it Chief Shah, doesn't work. It's a scam. It's all about money making schemes between, big people in the government itself, Yeah. So what is happening, or what happened today in JCM church with the presiding Bishop Ben, is the power of Gen Z. This has been planned in the last couple of weeks, that today they were going to assemble at Jesus Compassionate Ministry, and Gen Zs were going to showcase their love. Once again, they went there, and to my understanding, you can't hold me responsible for this, but I've seen clips online that again the government tried to frustrate the Gen Zs. When they went there, to my understanding, of course, because the government has the power to speak to network providers, apparently Safaricom turned off the network. When it was time for people to give and to contribute and to give their donations to ensure that the Kaluma family is supported and properly taken care of, and the Kaluma's father is, sees the best, whether it's the house, the home. Apparently Safaricom disconnected. Safaricom walikata network. So Bishop Ben could be heard akiwa kwa stage anasema, tunataka kuomba network irudishwe. We are peaceful people. There is no violence here. There is nothing. Tumekuja maombi, tumekuja kufanya good deeds. Wait. Okay, wacha niachie hapo kwanza. To myself, I'm thinking JCM has allowed, a venue for Gen Zs to assemble. Gen Zs, they plan themselves. Gen Z, they wanapangaga everything online. Gen Z in every country, and Kenya being the forefront of headlining with Gen Z, because I believe this is where the Gen Z revolution started in Kenya. Now the world is catching fire with Gen Z around the world. Gen Zs are taking over. Um, can I even stop there? How did we get here in the first place? How did any country, especially those in Africa, get here in the first place? It's because of what we call corruption. Corruption is rampant in every country in Africa. In Kenya, it's just crazy because we have apparently Kenya has apparently the most educated president in the world. Kenya. Somebody that is had all these doctors and all these PhDs and all these things. And indeed, the guy is educated, but he's the most corrupt leader. I believe. I think at one point he was ranked, I think number two. Then number one, I don't know, died. So if you are number two and number one died, then that means you are number one. So he's very good in giving speeches like into the UN assembly. He's very good into making all these things. But when it actually comes to delivering services to his people, he's just rhetoric, but he cannot walk the talk. So what is happening for the Gen Zs to come around to end up today in JCM? There is this boy that's called Kaluma Boy. Kaluma Boy is a TikToker. He's on Facebook. He's now become big because of how the Gen Zs have supported him, the Kenyan team, family, whatever you want to call them, fraternity. They've come together. I think it's a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, they went to his house and they went there to grace their homestead and see the father. This boy has been supporting the father in his ailment. He suffers from stroke and therefore he's not able to do much. Even his mobility is very limited. And therefore, this boy that is part of the family has been seen to support the father every day, to be there by his side, to help him, to feed them, to do all sort of things, to make sure that he's able to do 1, 2, 3 things, to love him as what children should do. He's still a young boy, but he's and has been there for his father. Then he was doing these small video clips and putting them on Facebook and putting them on TikTok. And this is how the Kenyan community became so much touched by this boy's deed. And the Gen Zs then came together and they planned to go and visit the boy and loved him. This is what the government of Kenya has failed to do. The Kaluma story should never have happened. I know God works in a mysterious way. He's going to perform. When God wants to come and bless you, he will open every door. But the Kaluma story was never supposed to happen if the government of the day was effective. Because had the government of the day been effective, Kaluma should have been never there to be the one taking care of the father. Kaluma should have been in school. Kaluma boy should have been doing whatever he needed to do as a young man to try and better his life. But Kaluma, after, finishing high school, Kaluma was now there supporting the father because there's nothing. There's no medication. The father's health was deteriorating, and therefore Kaluma was there to support. Whereas a man like this that is a Kenyan citizen should have been taken care of by the government. The government should be able to facilitate, healthcare for such a man that is ailing with stroke. But because the government just cares about itself, and when I talk about itself, I talk about the people who are in the government. They want to enrich themselves. They have these offshore accounts, abroad. They have all these huge stacks of money in bags and all this. They drive big. You should see the African presidencies' motorcades. You should see them. Go and look at Kasongo's motorcade. It has over almost 50 cars. Huge, big cars. Gasless. Big cars. And it's not only Kenya. Go and look at Museveni, the 91 years old who's trying to run for presidency again. Go and look at his motorcade. Again, the same thing. Go and look at Samia Suluhu Hassan, the president of Tanzania, motorcade. No African president has less than 30, 40 cars, motorcade. All those are gasless, V8 engines. Big cars. So, for what? That's why Africa suffered greatly when the late Magufuli John Pombe Magufuli, the late president of Tanzania, before this Suluhu Samia Hassan crazy one come in. Sorry, I beg your pardon if you think I'm being rude to the president of Tanzania, but hey, what Samia has done is completely different from what Magufuli's vision was, and she was supposed to be the deputy. So of course she became president when Magufuli died. But the vision of Magufuli, which I believe Magufuli must have shared with Samia Suluhu Hassan, because otherwise she was, his deputy. So she must have known, the vision of Magufuli. But she's completely gone on the wrong side of what Magufuli was doing. Magufuli had purpose to revolutionize Tanzania, and he'd started that. But now, Samia Suluhu Hassan has brought back what the old presidents of Tanzania used to do. This is exactly what's happening in Kenya. Kenya, Kasongo has only been there for 3 years, but he's stolen everything. He's ruined the Kenyan economy. No wonder Gen Zs are taking over. Now, the other day, Gen Zs threatened that they are going to raise money and build a hospital, a huge hospital in Kenya that is going to offer free services to all Kenyan residents. That is what the Gen Z said. Guess what? That actually has threatened the government. Let me just sort my camera. I think this lens is not very clean. Maybe it's better or it's gone wrong. So the Gen Zs have threatened that they are going to do this. And I think that has come to shake the government a little bit, and they are worried that they will become a huge embarrassment. But the bottom line is, I think the Gen Zs are supposed to be supported. So for today, to see Gen Zs assemble in JCM Church, want to do what they need to do to ensure Kaluma Boy's dad home and house is built so that he can live in a warm house, a good house, a house that probably is going to have mobility and all the amenities that he needs, as he continues to trust God for healing. That cause is a very good cause. To go there and try and donate money and put a fundraising, and all of a sudden, the government ensures that Safaricom cuts the network so that nothing happens. Because in Kenya, once again, Kenya revolutionized money transfer through, mobile phones, the M-Pesa. It was the first in the world. That is how money will be raised, because everything nowadays is digital. So the only way you can stop that from happening is if you cut network. Because if you cut network, people are not going to be able to send the M-Pesa. People are not going to be able to be online and see what is happening. And transaction through M-Pesa needs for somebody to have data. So if the network is cut, the government is trying to strangle. Is trying to ensure what the Gen Zs are trying to do is not going to manifest. That is retrogressive mindset. Whether the government is involved or it was just a failure of Safaricom, or it was just because of the sheer numbers of the people that were in JCM trying to send money, the same thing. I believe there was probably hundreds of people there. Looking at that hole, it looks like there were quite some huge numbers. The overflow rooms were also packed. So, but that is what Gen Zs are doing. So whether the Gen Zs overwhelmed the system, the M-Pesa system, and that's why he probably he's then started to have issues. I don't know, but I wouldn't think the Safaricom whatever would be overwhelmed by just one location. I think the system is strong enough to be able to hold, even if it's 1 million people sending money at the same time. But either way, to hear Bishop Ben say, please, we want you to sort the network, put the network back because we need to be able to raise these funds, is a shame. It's a shame. Are the government not meant to be helping such things because it's now helping somebody that is they are supposed to have helped? Mimi ningefikiria serikali ingefurahi sana wakati mtu kama Baba Kaluma angesaidiwa, amejengewa nyumba, akona a good place, so that at least hiyo ni mzee mmoja ambaye amesaidika. Even if they were the one that's supposed to do that na hawajafanya, at least wangesema kuna mzee mmoja anaishi vizuri. I hear that in the next couple of weeks they are heading to Embu to support another, I don't know, young lady. But what a shame to see that the Gen Zs have realized that the current government that we have, the government that we installed, thinking that it was a godly government, thinking that because they had come, to the people saying the way they fear God, they came with the Bible, they came crying and quoting verses that we are going to change. Previously, before the Kasongo regime, it used to be the government of the dynasties. It used to be the Kenyatas. It used to be Raila's, Jaramogi family. It used to be the Moi, the dynasties. That's what people used to say. So it was seen that this son of the peasant, apparently who went with the narrative of bottom up, he's been raised up from a poor family. He's had to learn the hard way. And people thought that this would be the best government ever. It will help the mama mboga, it will help the boda boda, it will help the common mwananchi. Goodness. Man, were we not wrong? The Kenyan people were so wrong. As they thought that this is going to be a person that will be able to identify with the needy people, with the medium and low class people, because that is how the narrative was sold. But goodness, I think it was better the dynasties that used to be there. What is concerning and worrying is that the Kasongo presidency is not poor. They are rich, filthy rich. But then you wonder, Alexander the Great, man that conquered the world, yeah? When he died, he said, I want the coffin that I will put in to be made in such a way that my hands will hang outside. My hands want to hang outside. And I want my coffin to be rode on a horse along the streets before I'm buried, so that people can see that I did not take anything with me. The man was filthy rich. Filthy rich. But he wanted the people to know that all this that we gather is vanity. That even with his riches, even after conquering the world, Alexander the Great, if you've never heard of Alexander the Great, please chukua simu yako sahi, Google Alexander the Great. See how this, and he was a very young man, how he conquered the entire world. Kind of. But when he was buried, he said, hang my hands outside the coffin. I want the people to see that you come here into this planet with nothing and you live with nothing. So all this wealth that people are acquiring and amassing, they are all this putting together, wealth that you can never finish, even your children will never finish. Whereas we have Baba Kaluma, who is suffering from stroke. We have all these other people that are in the hospital without medication. Even to see a doctor, you have to pay. Even for consultation, you have to pay huge amount of money that you cannot even afford. Now, if you have a surgery, you just count yourself dead if you are not a millionaire. Because if you are going to be, a knife is going to come to that, that's it. You have to sell land, you have to sell everything that you have for surgery. So this is what has caused the Kenyan Gen Zs to come together and say, that's it, we are tired of our government. We know they cannot do anything. We know they are just still stealing. And before we remove them from power, because they don't want fujo na ghasia, they don't want silliness. Gen Zs want peace. All the Gen Zs want peace. And they want transition that is going to be very transparent. That is why in 2027, all the Kenyan Gen Zs must make sure that they have their voter registration. Please have your ID. As long as you are an adult, make sure you have your ID and make sure you register to vote. It is critical, Gen Z. Let us just not talk. You cannot change the government by talking. Talking is good. Conversation, it must be kept talking. But the only way you can change the government is by voting. If you do not vote Gen Z, you are going to just be Gen Z by your talk. So every Gen Z, tafadhali, ensure you vote. And the only way you can vote is to make sure you are a registered voter. You cannot vote without a registration voter card. So the most important thing is for you to ensure you voice your voice. Then you go, you make sure you have your ID. If you do not have an ID, go and register for your ID. I mean, all this ID used to be free. In every country's ID used to be free. But now in Kenya and in a lot of African countries, you have now to pay. But either way, pay. Pay for your ID. Get an ID. Once you have an ID, then make sure you go and you register as a voter in your constituency, where your address is. You must register. If you are from Kisumu, go there, travel quickly, weekend, go get voter. But then no, when it comes to the time for voting, you would have to travel from where you are. If you work in Mombasa, if you work in Malindi, if you work wherever, go and make sure you go back to where you registered, because you cannot register in Nakuru and go and vote in Nairobi. It doesn't work like that. That will be a vote that will be lost. So wherever you register, that is where you would need to go and vote. But the most important thing is to have an ID and to have a voter registration card, so that then you'll be ready. Otherwise, Gen Zs can keep talking, you can scream, you can shout. Without a registration voter card, you are not going to make any change. Change is inevitable, but work must be put in place. I think Gen Zs are tired with just the government talking every day. We are going to do this, we are going to do this, we are going to bring SHIF, we are going to support free education. Nothing works. The most important thing for people is food, housing, health, especially food and health. Food, health, education for children. But for adults, do they have a roof? Are they ailing? Are they sick? Can they afford medication? Of course, with age, things change. So what was happening in Kaluma Boy's life was what the Gen Zs have decided to start revolutionizing and changing lives of each other, supporting each other. And I think it's a fantastic thing. And they have a bishop who resonate with them, Bishop Ben, and other bishop and other church leaders. I know we have a lot of people that have problems with churches nowadays, and I can't blame them, because a lot of, unfortunately, the Bible is very clear about wolves that will come in the name of men of God. It's there in the Bible that such a time as this, grievous wolves will come in sheep's clothing, pretending to be men of God. But all they will be planning and waiting is to steal from you. They will be talking about bring your tithes. If you don't bring your tithe, you will be cursed. Bring your offering. Bring pastor's money. It is pastor's birthday. You must bring 1,000 shillings. You must bring 100 pounds. You must bring these rupees. If you hear a man of God that is talking about that people have to bring money because it's their birthday, that's a fake pastor. That's a fake bishop. That's a fake evangelist. It's fake everything. There is no money that is supposed to be brought for you because you are pastor, because it's your birthday. We are not supposed to come and celebrate your wife's birthday because you are bishop. Because your wife is not different from any other woman. No, giving to God is supposed to be out of your heart. The Bible is very clear. We don't give out of compulsion. We don't force people to give. We don't demand that people must bless us. Giving to God is out of your heart. You give with a cheerful heart. God loves a cheerful giver. You enter into his presence with thanksgiving. You come into, listen, Psalms 100. But anyway, let me not change it. So what the Gen Zs are doing, they are coming to show the government, you can't do it for us. For this reason, we are doing it for ourselves. We are going to start putting one person in our place, and we bless them, especially those that are in dire need, different types of needs. And that is how to showcase the government. So I think this whole idea, Gen Zs were saying we are going to raise millions and build a free hospital. I think it's a very good idea. And if the government is scared, because I think the government is very scared with this thing, because the government is scared of Gen Zs. The government is not scared of old people. It's not. Because he knows the old people cannot do much. But Gen Zs have a voice. And that's why I've spent a lot of time emphasizing about you, ensuring you have an ID and a voter registration, because the government is scared of Gen Zs. Because Gen Zs can change everything. Gen Zs can vote a president out, which is what is going to happen. Hey, one term. Me, I'm a one-term person. I was there for the Kasongo's government. I prayed for it. I was praying for the Kasongo's government. I was there. I was also lied like everyone else. I was praying for the government. And I thought we had found a very good president. Even me. And I know you and every one of us was lied to. But hey, never again. Never again. I prayed for other governments, even in Africa. I prayed a lot. But a lot of times they come and they lie, time after time. But I think this time Gen Zs are leading the way. And it is fundamental they continue doing that. And they show the government. I mean, if the Gen Zs were to decide to build this hospital, they can do it. I will support them. I will send my contribution. Every person in diaspora, we can send. People in diaspora can send contributions, huge. We have a lot of Gen Zs in diaspora. And they are in sync like this, because Gen Zs are everywhere. They are in diaspora everywhere. They are in every country. Even in Africa, you can go to Rwanda, you find there's Gen Zs for Rwanda in every country. A lot of countries abroad. So diasporians are there. And Gen Zs are one and the same thing. They speak the same. They are tribeless. But they must be leader. They cannot be leaderless. You know, I know in Kenya it began that we don't have a leader, but you know, we are Gen Zs. But I think that now has passed the time. Gen Zs must also have a leader, because there's no group of movement that has ever succeeded without a leader. Somebody has to be in charge. Somebody has to look, okay, who is saying when are we meeting? Somebody must be there. So if there's nobody planning when you are going to meet, then how does it happen? It's like these things that was planned about today, Gen Z meeting at JCM. That was the route. Roilo, Tukutane Roilo. Somebody planned that. And those are the leaders. There are people praying about the event. Right now, if Kaluma definitely was blessed, Kaluma's family was blessed, there is somebody that is going to undertake that project ya kujengea baba Kaluma nyumba. Somebody has to be in charge. So we cannot say you are going to be leaderless. Yes, the movement started. It started very well. But now you must have leaders in place. And it's the same thing. Either Gen Z are embracing a few leaders here and there if you want the government to change. And eventually, or Gen Z want to put their own leader. But you cannot remain leaderless. No group, no movement has ever gone anywhere without a leader. Because leaders must be there. But what is fundamental is, what leaders are you choosing? Who are you choosing? You definitely are not going to choose because of along tribal lines. You're not going to choose along gender lines. You're not going to choose along ability lines. And when I say ability lines, I'm not talking about you choose somebody that just is another person that doesn't know what to do. I'm talking about if the person that has been found to fit a certain position has needs, maybe is able differently. You don't say, oh, because you are disabled, you can't be there. No. If they fit that position, yes. That's the Gen Zs. So we don't care which ethnicity you are. You don't care which county you are from. No. The question is, are you able? Do you have the qualities? Do you have the character? Are you good enough? Can you deliver? That is what is important. Not language, not color, not which area you are from, not are you from dynasty. Are you able to deliver? Can we count on you? Can you show us progress as you continue? That's what it's all about. So Gen Z, everywhere you are, congratulations. Well done. I pray that even as you continue to uh, finish these projects that you have started, Kaluma Boy, the other one in Embu, or other projects, we continue to support you. We continue to pray for you. We continue to also give our resources. Prayer warriors, continue to pray. Pray for peace. We pray for things to be done in orderly. We cancel anything that is contrary to the law, because we must follow the law. Whatever agencies are doing their activities, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, right now Uganda is electioneering period. All the agencies must follow the law. Don't go and start do crazy stuff that is contrary to the law, and then you allow police to have reasons to start shooting. Follow the law. If you have to demonstrate, peaceful demonstration are allowed. All these things must be in peace and in line with what the law says. And then everything will work. Around the world, Gen Zs, please follow the law. Regardless of whatever country you are in, follow the law of that country, and it shall be well. Anyway, it was a humbling to see what the Gen Zs did today in Kenya, even as they flocked to completely shut down JCM and show their love toward one of their own. Kenyans, Gen Z, well done for leading from the front around the world to show other Gen Zs around the world how it's done. Time and time again, you have done that. We cannot be proud enough. We cannot thank you for showcasing what God can do through his people. The sovereignty of the nation of Kenya belongs to the people, and the Gen Zs are showing up. Congratulations one more time. So the men of God that are there with Gen Zs and all that, well done. Tunawaombea, tunaomba Mungu aendelee kuwabariki. May you be guided of God so that you can continue to support these young people. But please, men of God like Bishop Ben, if you ever hear this message, please can we continue to preach about Gen Zs getting IDs and voter registration? Because we can continue screaming, shouting, talking, rhetoric won't do anything. Bishop Ben and any other bishop, any other pastor, evangelist, akina wote, evangelist wote, wala watu wote wanapenda Mungu, Karango wa Muraya on your platform, emphasize about all these people that are in TikTok. And I think anaga kina Tiza na kina Hana Benta, wale watu wote mko akina Njoki Morela, wale watu wote mko na Khalid, itawa Khalid nani, wale watu wote mko na millions. In UK we have D Black, all the Kenyan TikTokers that have, millions, Eric Omondi, Facebook, TikTok, all that. Please, on your platforms, support the Gen Zs by telling them to register for votes. If God has blessed you with such a big platform, how what I mentioned, and among any others that are there, support the Gen Zs by encouraging them and telling them that they need to register for votes. Waende wachukue kitambulisho na waende wachukue voter ID. Mapema na haraka. 2 years is not too far in Kenya. Things go very fast. Kwa hivyo, don't wait at the last minute, because tunaona, I think today is a very good example. Walienda JCM, apparently Safaricom just switched the network. Sasa, whatever was supposed to happen there, I don't know vile Mungu alisaidia. I've just been in church, so sijajua vizuri. But definitely, I hope things changed and all that, and whatever happened, kama ilikuwa imepangwa na Mungu, hakuna mtu anaweza pangua, because watu wanaweza kusema hata nimepledge bado network nikipata ama nikifika nyumbani bado nitatuma. So they cannot stop what God has started. What God is doing through Gen Z, nobody can stop. No government can stop. No Safaricom can stop. Nothing. Because God can do all things but fail. So, but what I'm saying, tafadhali all those people that have huge platform kwa Facebook, kwa Instagram, kwa YouTube, kwa TikTok, please use your platforms to encourage Gen Zs to go and register for their national IDs if they don't have. But also emphasize the need for them to register for voting. They need to acquire their voter registration from their constituencies where they come from. Otherwise, if they wait until 2027 June there, June. Guess what? Kasongo will have come with a very beautiful ideas. He's going to make sure that he's going to close those things. Because now there is no more time. He's now buying. Atakuwa ameona time imebakia miezi mbili. People are trying to rush at the last minute. Like I have 20 million people trying to go and register for vote. I know those agencies, they are going to be vote against Kasongo. So I'm blocking. I'm going to close the registration. I'm going to block every chief, every whatever, every place. I'm going to stop there until 2028 when I'm installed again for the second. So usiongoje mpaka the last minute. Why don't you register now? Why don't you get your ID and your voter registration by this year or by next year? Get it so that it is there already. When the time of voting is there, hautaanza kusumbuka, hutaanza kwenda kimbia. Tusikue watu wa kukimbia at the last minute. Why do we want to go and rush at the last minute? Unakimbia kwenda kutafuta kitambulisho at the last minute. Why are you trying kukimbia kwenda kuanza kuuliza voter registration yako at the last minute? Tuna vote next week. Na unatafuta voter registration yako saizi. Kasongo will frustrate you. Kama ana frustrate watu JCM anavuta network. Watu wasitoe pesa ya kwenda kusaidia Kaluma baba yake kujengewa nyumba. Kwa sababu Kasongo, serikali ya Kasongo itaaibika. What do you think is going to happen when he thinks now Gen Zs are taking IDs so that they can remove me from the office? He's going to close every kituo ya kuvoter register. He's going to do it. And then you cannot vote. Kama hauna voting ID registration card, huwezi kuvote. So all your talk will have been wasted. So before that happens, my encouragement to you and to any other celebrity out there that can use their platform wisely, vizuri, na utusaidie hata wacha tukuombe tu utusaidie kwa page yako. Please encourage Gen Zs to go and collect these documents, their ID and voter registration, ili wakue gangari, wakue sambamba, wakue ready for 2027. Let us not allow these boys and girls, these young people, these young adults to wait until the last minute, because systems will be put in place to frustrate them. And what we don't want is to have any reason whatsoever that is going to cause one term not to manifest. It's one term. One term. Kasongo's regime is one term. I said it. Yeah, I said it. And I'm not scared. I ain't scared of nothing. Ain't nothing nobody can do. One term is going to manifest. Whether they like it or not, it's going to manifest. Ita manifest, mtu wangu. So, but let us make it happen. Anyway, guys, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Tafadhali, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please naomba utie subscription. Sure your notification bell is on, so anytime I'm coming live, unaweza kukuwa notified. Share this message. Tafadhali, if you don't want to share anything, just share kwa platform yako ya kwamba Safeguarding Officer Jeff anataka familia zikuwe safeguarded. There's a lot of our children that are sick and there's no medication in hospitals. You know, SHA shift is not working. And if you are there and you work with the government ya Kasongo kudanganya watu SHA shift inafanya kazi, sitaki kutaja huyu mtu, maana ni rafiki yangu. Ushindwe kabisa kwa sababu it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So the system need to be changed. And the best thing to do that is just by throwing the government out. Yeah. So United Opposition, mwendelee kufanya kazi mzuri na mkumbuke you must be one. The thing is one term. United Opposition, soon as you start having people, Kasongo atakuja kujaribu kuwapiganisha vichwa. Soon as you start having you go one, everybody anataka kusimama president. It's not going to work. You must be a united opposition with one presidency, one deputy. If you guys decide mnataka kukua haraka president and deputy president, consider doing one term. Consider doing one term. Tunasimama na one term. Hata nyinyi mnaweza kudecide kama mmesema Kalonzo ndio the best president. Kasongo asimame na akubaliane na andikiane na wengine, nitakaa only 5 years. My deputy achukue another 5 years. Then we have another deputy and another deputy. So in 10 years, we'll have had 2 presidents. Either way, whatever we need to do is to get this Kasongo out. Msikizane tafadhali, united opposition, and deliver. Apart from that, guys, now Apenda Bude, thank you for safeguarding and keeping children and families safe. That is what we preach. That is what we ask. That is what we do. Guys, mbarikiwe, and keep fighting. Keep fighting for family. Keep fighting for children. Uppercut. Kiona mtu anajaribu kuharibu mambo ya watoto, sisemi tukue physical. I'm not here saying that people should be physical. No, there's a way we fight. We fight with legislations. We fight with good talk. We fight with our actions, putting things in place. We fight with prayers. We fight with ensuring that systems are working. That's how we fight. Huh? Okay, apart from that, nawapenda sana. Thank you guys for being with me for 40 minutes on my life. Really appreciate each and everyone that's graced this life. God our bless sana. Share this live. Share this video. Tia comment yako hapo please, sema vile unaona. And then let's work together. Shalom, shalom, shalom.